Hi, this is Travis with Comics Limited, and
Bigby McFly, the comics guy.
welcome to our new segment, Comics Talk.
All right, you guys, we'll catch you on the inside.
So, so here we are. It's our first time talking about this stuff. We're having this conversation where we're gonna issue one, and what is our first issue going to be? And is it a comic book issue, or are
I
we
think
gonna?
we should be. So this can, I think we should just talk about what's going on right now in our lives and what's going on with comics and what we're doing on our channels.
Yeah,
Just kind of go with with that.
Well, so, why don't we start off with you? This what I honestly think one of the coolest things you. Not that you don't do cool things. One of the best things you've done recently. I really like this comic book shout out. I really like, and I like how other people are joining in with you. I was really stoked to see what was the guy's name, the one that used your video.
What's on the comic rack?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
He kind of homaged my intro, and my outro, which I thought was great. He even kind of mimicked my vocal patterns, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, and I'm like, that was awesome. I really appreciated that, and I thought that was it was a great way to keep that community chain going and keep that idea flowing for the community. I also really appreciate you throwing me into the den of sharks of saying, "Oh yeah, and Travis will do a sketch for you too."
I asked you before.
I know, but there was no hesitation on my part. I'm absolutely excited to do that. If anybody asks or whatever they get to it, I would love to do it.
So we're setting up to do the drawing. The first one's going to be on June 15th.
Okay,
and we're going to do it on the 15th of the month, every month leading up to November, and then on November 15th we're going to do a big drawing, which is going to be for a original sketch as well as some giveaway stuff. So one of them's going to be, I've got a Deadpool slab, it's just a random issue of Deadpool, but it's a slab.
Mm-hmm.
And I've committed to that one, and also a copy of Swordmaster #1. I got several copies in a collection that I got recently, so that's going to be one of the things.
Well, let me add to that then. So I will throw in a Berserker #2 slab.
Oh, cool.
Sketch cover.
Cool.
Variant.
Awesome.
And that's a 9.8, and then I think that'd be kind of cool to add to that pile too. So,
and I've told people, any creators that want to, if you want to throw some stuff into the pot for a giveaway, just reach out to us and let us know, and we'll definitely give them a shout out for adding the stuff into the giveaway. So I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us use your place for doing this first recording too. Not that my place was going to be crazy, but
my studio extraordinaire.
Yes, your studio extraordinaire.
It's my studio apartment.
Yeah, and so my tonight the kids have a friend over, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in my place, so it's
totally
really
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to the community. I'm excited about the fact that I had a video that hit almost 2400, I think,
Awesome,
yesterday, right? And so, or it's 2300. It's really high, close to 2400. So, thanks. I don't know what drove it over the top. I couldn't tell you if I picked it out. I was like, hey, what did this do?
I've had some crazy ones like that too. I had a flash video that it went. And it's like really weird how YouTube will grab it and like throw it back out every once in a while. So it's up to like 4,500 views. It's just a random flash video with a Bruce Springsteen song, "Baby We Were Born to Run."
Oh, okay, yeah.
The song for the video. Which, by the way, I'm gonna do a little shameless plug here. So I've had a couple people ask me about the shorts that I do, and if I could do more of an in-depth review of the comics that are in the shorts, as well as they've asked me questions about the music that I chose for the videos. So I'm going to be doing a thing called Short Coffee Break, and I'm going to try to do that once a week. And people can chime in on the shorts that they want to have more info on, and I will then give them more info about the music that I picked, why I picked it, and we'll talk more about the issues that are shown on the shorts.
Well, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. It's interesting. I've been doing most of mine just based off of whatever I won on Whatnot in those auctions.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and it's funny. I mean, that one that went skyrocketing, which in fact, it was funny because the guy named Kevin, who's new Nerd Pharmaceuticals, first shout out if you want to go to Whatnot and you want to look up someone who's got really great virgin variants and every variant cover you can imagine on a wall, and he got some really good deals. I don't know, pharmaceuticals on Whatnot. If you check him out, he has some great deals. He has boxes. He does these mystery boxes.
Yeah,
and they're just like, they're awesome. They're like, 5 trades, 5 virgins, and a special book or something like that usually. And it's pretty good stuff, and it's really great stock. I've bought one from him. They're about $100, but usually he has books they starts at $3 starts and runs $3 starts, and they're all beautiful. They're all gorgeous. David Nakayama. You have
awesome.
all these different cover artists who are out
DNA,
there doing so.
David Nakayama.
DNA. Dr. David Nakayama. Didn't know that was his name.
I was saying that on a video, and somebody corrected me. I was like, and the signature on here is DNA, and somebody put in the comments that's David Nakayama. They wanted to put more on after that. But,
well, I mean, I don't know where I was going to go with that, and because you're my friend, and I don't want to do that.
Well, we've been friends long enough. You can call me more.
Yeah, but I was going to say, if the shoe fits, I guess. I mean, well,
oddly enough, the shoe does fit quite often.
Yeah. I feel the same about you sometimes. See that worked there, because you kind of walked yourself into that one. So yeah, I mean, I've been what was it with it? So
David Nakayama variants in the boxes that he's putting together.
Right. So there's David Nakayama variants. There's you've got Mercado variants. I think that's how you say his name. And a plethora of other artists, Peach Momoko. Yes, Momoko, sure.
Okay.
Momoko, I can.
Anyway,
so great stuff, and so that particular video was all books that I purchased from him,
mm-hmm.
and what was funny on that particular video, particular show, is the show wasn't really running well. I mean, he was selling stuff, but not a lot of stuff. And so he decided, because he was doing giveaways because of how he's set up. He can do a lot more giveaways than most people do. So he was doing giveaways, but between giveaways, if people weren't buying, he decided he was going to give everybody a choice of reading a comic book to them.
Okay.
Comic book story time.
Okay.
And so, everybody had voted for World Tree. Now, if you've ever read World Tree, this new comic that came out from Image,
but it looks very adultish.
It's not appropriate to read on a show at all. I mean, I read it. Let's put it this way. Now, you know what? My sensibilities. I don't mind horror comics. Horror comics are pretty good. I like the Dark Ride. It's a good story by. Can't think of his first name. Williamson is his last name. He just did the Justice League, the big crossover that they did in DC.
You're my big.
Okay,
you're my current events guy.
Yeah. So
I was just talking about that on.
Yeah, you're not really
that you are the guy who gets me up to speed on current events. So I was telling people about how you were telling me how Jubilee is. I was talking about how Jubilee was such a goofy character, and you were like, "You're really not up to speed on Jubilee. She's an adult now. She has a kid. She's a vampire." And I said that to Alan at Comic Collector Geek, and he was like, "What the hell?" Yeah. He's not up to speed on Jubilee either.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah. So there was this new crossover kind of crisis. I can't remember what it was called. It was. Crisis of Fear or Fear of Crisis or something like that.
Crisis of Conscience?
I don't know. But anyway, it was a crisis storyline, and it was really good. And he was the writer of that, and it was exceptional. And so I started reading Dark Ride, and I was kind of blown away. It's this comic book that's this dude, Walt Disney-esque era type guy, gives his soul to the devil, and it creates Hell World, like Disneyland, but to scare people.
Sounds like Bendy and the Ink Machine. Are you familiar with that storyline?
I'm not familiar with it, but
it's a video game.
It's a video game. That Lucy wanted to play it a few years ago.
The artist, he sold his soul and to bring his creations to life, and they became evil and twisted. And you got the ink blot monsters, which the Mickey versus the Phantom Ink blot. That
yeah.
Kind of there's a whole thing to it. So yeah, Orion, my son, has played it and he loves it. So
yeah, Lucy wanted to play it when she was like 10, and I think I said no because
it's a little
she
scary.
was 10.
Might have some nightmares.
I played it a little bit on the Xbox, and I was like, yeah, this is not a game that she could play. And I was like, it kind of freaked me out too. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big horror guy. Well, so World Tree, in the real world, what I actually do for a living, I work for.
You don't have to don't say who you work for.
No, I work for a telecommunications company, and I work in the cloud technologies department. I wanted to be, and I'm an engineer in cloud technologies.
Right.
Well, so the comic book is about these people who find this undernet. It's the internet, but not the internet. It's under the internet, and it's not.
It's like the dark web.
No. It's like further than the dark web.
Okay.
And they do this thing where they end up controlling it or keeping it. They create this avatar to keep it safe.
Okay.
And keep it away from everybody and keep it from getting into the hands of the world, because it's deadly. It's kind of takes it's a take on the Ring storyline, where you play a video cassette and then it makes you die,
Okay.
or ring you, or whatever it was called, the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, so it's kind of like that, but
spoilers, everybody, if you haven't read World Tree, Travis is just going to lay it all out.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to lay any more out of it. It just it being in the internet and working a lot in this area, things like that always just creep me out. It's like the ghost in the machine idea, this thing that there's something out there that's alive, that's in the internet, that's the kind of some spiritual being, creature that's going to kill us all, right, or something like that. And
it's not. I just assumed.
You're not supposed to talk about that stuff, right? We talked about this. You're
now
not allowed to
really
talk about
come
this
and kill me. I forgot I wasn't allowed to say anything.
The black helicopters are already flying towards the house.
Just kidding, guys. Okay, so anyway.
But is he? Is he?
Just kidding. Or am I?
Anyway.
So anyway, coming full circle. So this guy's reading this story, which is inappropriate.
He was going to read it,
okay.
And then he flipped through it. And he was like, "Oh, I can't show these images on whatnot because there's some nudity in it." So that
some adult content,
very adult content. And so he's like, "Okay."
Some of the covers are very adult.
So he just threw up another survey with all the other comics, and he put Yoda number 1, I think.
Okay.
And everybody picked Yoda number 1.
Okay.
And so then he read the Yoda number 1.
Uh-huh.
And so he was having this. He was going to do this giveaway to people who purchased, because you can give a giveaway to just the people who purchased something from you, which then allows the cost of the shipping.
So why was he killing so much time to read a whole comic book? I don't understand.
Well, I think he works at the shop where all this stuff is at.
Okay.
And so his job at the shop is to run whatnot shows, and they're supposed to be a certain amount of time frame. So he does like a 4-hour show.
Oh, okay. So he had to kill so much time, whether he's
because
selling
nobody's
because
he's selling stuff the whole time too, right? So he reads the Yoda comic, and at that point in time, I had to mute it, but I kept coming back in because I think I might have been working when he was doing this. I was waiting for
really he wasn't. Don't come after him.
So there was. So it's just a video off to the side of the screen. It's not what I can totally not. I don't focus on it. We all do this. It's a part.
Well, I can't do that because in my real life, I drive a CDL driver. So yeah, I don't have any kind of video, anything when I'm driving my truck.
Yeah. When you sit at a desk with video screens in front of you, it's hard not to have stuff to just distract your brain. Usually it's music, right? Well, so I'd started this before I started work, and so I wanted to wait. I wanted to you don't have to be there to win this giveaway. Well, no, you have to be there to win the giveaway, and so I wanted to be there when he gave the thing away.
Right.
So I didn't win the giveaway. However, if you watch that video, it says exclusive Kevin's signature from Nerd Pharmaceuticals on the thing, because Kevin signed it. And actually, I said, "Oh man, I didn't win." He goes, "Do you want the Yoda comic?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "It's trashed. I mean, it's beat up. You're not going to be able to like turn it in. Do you want me to sign it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So where do you want it? Do you want a mustache? So I'm like, so he signs it for me across the
That's
mustache.
awesome.
So, so I had him do that. And then I wrote back to him in the chat. I'm like, "Okay, now I'm going to get it graded." And he's like, No, it's garbage. You don't want to do that. Don't waste your money. And I still think it would be fun to send it into CBCS and have them do signature verification off the Whatnot video, because you can go back and watch the Whatnot videos,
right?
And on Whatnot, so they could go back and see that he actually signed it, and then it would be a verified signature.
I mean, he's not involved in the creation process. Yeah, be interesting.
They would do it because he's, say, a Whatnot personality, kind of like how you would do a star who signs a comic book.
Yeah, okay, I suppose.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. They might not.
Dave,
might just say writing on cover.
Dave from West Coast Dave Vengers has signed some books. He'll be doing some goofy auction, and then he'll. Yeah,
I have some of his signed books, so
he'll just you want me to sign it? What do you want me to? How do you want me to write it? Or I'll have Comic Tim sign it for you. He's like, I can't say how many I's and how many M's and how many exclamation points to put it in, but Comic Tim will sign it. Because Comic Tim goes, Comic Tim. So that's awesome, though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was, and I honestly think when I think about that particular video, that it seems like that's the one video that it spiked. That's the spiked video, the one that spiked up.
So really?
So yeah, it has the picture on it.
Oh, of the Yoda
with the signature.
Right.
So it's like the mustache Kevin across Yoda.
So let's talk about this website that you've got. So you and your father-in-law have a website that this channel or this podcast
that we're doing
is going to be based on. And what's the title of it is?
It's comicstalkblog.com.
Comics Talk Blog. So we're going to be doing Comics Talk, and we're going to try to do this on a semi-regular basis, at least once a month. Try to get together and do a video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And on the Comics Talk, you guys talk about you review books and stuff.
We do some. We right now it's primarily superhero film type stuff. Has been most of the stuff we do. We also do. You can also, if Walter's up on it, because he's the primary worker on this. Walt does. He does a lot of. He'll talk about a lot of classic comic stuff. There's actually a reader on the site. You can read classic comics that have gone into public domain. So he's got a bunch of public domain comics, like older Golden Age and stuff like that you can read that are on there, that are part of the on Reader. He does a lot of reviews of the comic book movies that have come out.
Your daughter's done some reviews on there too, right?
Yeah, my oldest daughter Ruby has written 2 reviews on there. She I think, I can't remember what her first review was, but it was really good. She's really into the Star Wars
right?
and Clone Wars type stuff. Yeah. We're actually, for her birthday, I got her some of the, so she's been collecting the manga size.
Digest ones.
Yeah, the digest size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff originally came out in that format, and you can't get it in any other format.
Right. Well, when they did the full collection of the original Clone Wars run, the one where the first Ahsoka and the first
yeah,
of the different characters. First Ahsoka, first what's her name? The leader of the Bo-Katan is actually in one of them too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
And so.
Okay, so her first appearance, because they said her first appearance was on the cover of.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think it's in Shipyards of Doom, or the one where they protect the temple of. There's some Jedi temple one that they protect, and I think that's actually the first Bo-Katan.
Oh, okay.
So,
because I thought her first appearance was on the cover of There's one of those variant covers.
I think. Well, you look at the back cover of this, and there's Bo-Katan flying with two guns firing
That's
on
cool.
it. So it's like
you learn something new every day.
Yeah,
there's so much intricacy and stuff to the Star Wars stuff that I am just not up on. There's so many first appearances, and it's
hilarious.
Crisscrossed and
Ruby and I were going through books at our LCS with comics. I like comics in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, down there with Chris.
Yeah,
okay.
So we were going through boxes and looking at the old Star Wars stuff, and we noticed that Dark Horse really, really likes what is his name? He's only in one episode of Clone Wars, but he was a very popular character. I can't think of his name. My mind went blank. If I remember, I'll tell everyone. But
in the comments, or in the description.
Anyway, but this character, for whatever reason, Dark Horse just like stuck to him. It was like it's like
Isn't it like Cad Bane or
no. It's a good guy character.
Okay.
It's like.
This guy that wearing the Darth Vader pants?
No, it's the guy with he's kind of got dark hair, he's got kind of dreads, and he's got the white swatch or the lighter skin swatch across his eyes. Anyway, doesn't matter. There was a really great book.
Rocket Raccoon.
There's a really great book called Dark Disciple that had that he was in that was probably one of my favorite stories. I would look it up on my phone, but we're camera right now. So anyway, but we were noticing that Dark Horse really liked this character, and they just went nuts with him. Like he's in every comic. It's like you're like sitting there looking at all these comics, and it's like, ta-da! This character, that character, that character. Oh, this first appearance of this. Oh, and he's in it too. And here's the first appearance of this, and he's in it too. It's like we're like the Jedi talk about him being the guy who is not ever at the temple, not ever with any other Jedis, never around everybody. He's always off doing some secret mission somewhere,
right?
And so you never know what he was doing, and that's what it's like.
But
Dark Horse
was always hanging out at the temple,
yeah.
Just unbeknownst to everyone else. He had a secret room that he hung out in.
Well, anyway, I don't know where I was going with that thought, but it's okay.
We're talking about your daughter doing reviews of the comics.
She did a Star Wars review, and then. Pardon me. I think she's going to be doing another review for the next. I think she's going to do a review of the current Bad Batch season.
Oh, cool!
Because she really is really into. We've watched it together. I mean, we've been watching Clone Wars together since she was a little kid. So it's one of those fun things as family we do and stuff like that. So
awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool. I mean, your family is all into all kinds of different pop culture stuff. So I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, if you guys ever get a chance to meet Travis's wife, she plays Call of Duty and all that kind of stuff. So
and what's funny is when I first met her, I talked to her dad on the phone, and we talked about comics, and then she and I talked about comics and how much she loved. Her dad used to buy her Superman comics when she was a little kid, when they'd have to go on these trips and do stuff for her mom and all these things. He would buy her Superman comics, like the old who was the most popular Superman artist at that time? It's 70s, early 70s.
All I can think of is Neil Adams did a lot of covers back then.
It's another cover art. He does a lot of cover art, but he did other stuff, and he actually did the issue of Spider-Man Superman.
Oh, okay.
The one where you see Spider-Man hanging off that
tower.
Oh,
right, yeah.
Anyway, so my brain went blank and I cannot think of his name, so I will put that in the comments later on. Description, or maybe we'll add.
I say that all the time. I always say it's in the
description underneath, or maybe we'll write it down under here, saying, "Here's where Travis was being an idiot."
Oh, see, I was a moron earlier.
I'm an idiot. So, anyway, but yeah, and so we talked, and all of a sudden, he and I kind of struck up a bit of a friendship, and he was really happy that it was in his daughter's life, and we were just friends at the time, and that was about 2 years before Kim and I got married. So,
right.
So I mean, we actually that sparked our friendship further on because we had another connection. and then 2 years later, we decided that we came together and we got married, and 2 years after that, we started having kids. So,
well, it tends to happen.
Yeah. We bought a house too. I mean,
that too.
We did all the, we did all the things.
We got older.
Yeah, well, that tends to happen too. So.
Either you do or you don't.
Well, yeah, I look the same that I've looked like this for like the last 10 years, so I haven't really changed.
All those neutrino baths.
Yeah. Yes, I'm freezing myself actually. Doing that whole
cryo
chamber thing.
Yeah. So, coming full circle back to stuff we were talking about at the beginning, hashtag comic book shoutouts. So you had a couple channels that you wanted to talk about. You said you're going to do some videos, but let's do some sneak peek of who did you want to talk about?
Well, so I want to do a comic book shout out for Swagaloss. Mm-hmm. I know that a lot of you know Swagaloss. You probably watched his videos, and he's got that new comic coming out that he kickstarted.
You backed that, right?
I bought into the Kickstarter. In fact, I bought in, and then I bought in some more so I could get all the extra covers because I want to have all the variants and the signed ones and all that stuff. So I did all that. So.
Yeah, and Mickey's pretty cool. He's actually, we were just talking about, he's actually a writer. And, so he's on strike right now.
Yeah, he's on strike. Except for he's still doing YouTube videos.
But he's not doing, but that's different.
Well,
he's
guess
creating for himself. He's not.
Yeah, that's true. He's not writing. So
he's
on strike, so he can't do his YouTube video.
Yeah, that'd be funny if you couldn't do your own YouTube videos. But
I mean, he's not writing anything for those. He just does them off the cuff, right?
So it's freeform.
Freeform.
This is exactly what we're doing right here.
Yeah, totally.
You can't tell. This is totally scripted, right? Word for word.
Well,
what's the cue card say over there? And line.
Yeah. It was. Oh man, I had a good one too, and it just kind of like dove off in. We'll cut this part right here. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So yes.
Just lay off the wacky tobacco.
Yeah, all I was actually thinking of was that you've ever seen that commercial, the one where the guy calls long distance via the payphone. Do you guys remember what payphones are? Payphones.
Oh my gosh, yeah, my
had a baby, it's a boy.
Yeah. Message from have a baby, it's a boy. Yeah. My daughter, my oldest daughter, my only daughter, we were watching a movie and it was a disaster flick where like a nuclear bomb thing. Anyway, everybody's lined up. These cars are all lined up. People are all in this line outside a payphone. And she's like, "What are they doing?" And we had to explain, well, they didn't have cell phones back then. You had to actually put money in the thing and dial the phone number and hope somebody was home to get your call. And she was like, "What?" And then she's like, "How did you guys even hang out back then?" And we're like, "Well, you just kind of headed over to your friend's house on your bike and hope they were home." And she's like, "Well, what did you guys do for entertainment? You played what? Kick the can? Were you guys like special ed back then or what?"
Kick the can? No, we played Risk. We played Uno. We played Talisman. We played.
Oh gosh, what was that card game we used to go over to Eric's house and
Rook?
play? Rook. We played Rook. We would play Rook with our group until 4 a.m. sometimes.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's a great game.
Or Risk with other certain friends that would get really angry and the board would go flying. It'd be like,
yeah.
And then
there was speaking of Risk, we used to play Risk. I used to have a couple of shops and we used to play Risk. It was so busy at the beginning that we would play Risk. So we were playing Risk, and there was this time where one of my employees and we were back to back. We had this huge buildup along the borders, and then there was the guys on the outside, and they said, "Hey, let's make a treaty for the next 4 turns. We won't attack each other, and we'll take these other guys out, and then we can, finish this game like gentlemen." And so my turn came. I moved all my troops out, and I just started to attack the other guy. His turn came, and he turned around and wiped me out. And I was so mad at him. So, for months on end later on, I'd say something snarky to him, and he'd say, "Is this about the treaty still?" It's all about the treaty.
Oh. Well, yeah.
So there you go, James. If you're out there watching, I don't know whatever happened to you, but it's all about the treaty.
I was going to ask you if that was James.
It was James, yeah. James, he was great.
Yeah. Well, so basically, I think our next idea here would be that I would love to hear what you guys want us to talk about, because we love to talk about comics, and we could talk about anything and everything.
Yeah, we've got a long history of in comics and reading comics, and we're ancient fossils who have been around for so long that we pretty much know
lots of things, and we actually don't know everything. That's another fun thing too. So
yeah,
if you
so
come up with a topic, if you on
well.
top of it, if you want to, we could play stump the hosts. And I think we're also going to try to engage with some other creators, as well as our friends. We have some friends who are fun to hang out with and talk about stuff.
For sure.
And you know, I mean, I'm planning on actually doing some LCS interviews. I'm going to interview Chris at I Like Comics, hopefully in the very near future.
Yeah.
And just
we're also talking about doing some live artwork or something.
Oh yeah. So
on camera.
Yeah, so that's another one. We'll probably have a show that's called Drawing
Art.
Art.
The final frontier.
Well, so this just kind of kills it when you art.
No. So what we want to know is what do you guys want to see? If you could put it in the comments and let us know like what you are enjoying about us talking, what you don't enjoy about us. If you say you don't enjoy either of us, then we'll just go away and never appear again. So
that was a pretty comic.
It was a pretty comic. There was a pretty comic behind me.
The Captain America 100's like my favorite comic. And
yeah, well, you know, there's more Captain America behind it. But anyway, we digress. So if you guys want to talk about what you'd like us to talk about or what you'd like to see more of, we'd really appreciate it. And we'd love to hear from you guys. And if we give us a like and a comment and a subscribe, that would be awesome.
Yeah. And these videos will be shared across both of our channels too. I mean,
well, I'll probably put it in my community tab, and then it'll be on your channel.
Okay. Yeah.
So you get the views, but if you guys could subscribe to both of our channels, that would be awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Bigby McFly, the comic guy, and
Comics Limited.
That's right.
So
really appreciate you guys tuning in. And was there anything else we wanted to talk about?
You know, I do have one more shout out.
Okay.
There's this guy called Star Wars Theory.
Okay.
He's not a comic guy, but you know, pop culture.
Yeah.
He has been working on creating a Darth Vader series or Darth Vader show.
Okay.
That he's been doing with his own money as a fan favorite type thing. I watched episode 1. I guess it's about a year old. You probably have all watched it. But man, I was so impressed.
Yeah.
It was really good. I mean, I've seen some of these fan films, Star Wars fan films, because you know they used to do a festival every year,
mm-hmm.
Which they haven't been doing. But it could have been a pandemic that stopped it. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is a quality story. It was a quality show, full acting, animation, everything they did with it. I highly recommend it. Check out Star Wars Theory, and also just look at check out his channel. I mean, he talks about tons of Star Wars stuff. He even got banned by Disney Lucasfilm. They actually banned him for a few months ago. I can't remember why they said, but the thing is he's not a big fan of Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not sure why.
Why you don't say.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's a part of it. But he's a great guy. A lot of fun to listen to. He cares about Star Wars even more than I do. And I saw Star Wars when I was 6 times in the theater with my family. And yeah, you don't hear me calling it A New Hope, right? Because I don't. I call it Star Wars.
Right.
Because that's what it is. A New Hope was an added title that George Lucas decided to give to it. Good for George. I'm glad he did it. It's his choice. But
well, I mean, he did say A New Hope at the very beginning of the title card. No?
Not when the original one.
I thought I did.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, if you guys agree with that, then you can say I agree with Trav. And if you disagree with that, then you can say I agree with Brian.
Yeah, either way. You can be agreeable both ways.
That's right. You can say I agree with both of you guys. Neither one of you are wrong. I accept both of your realities.
I don't know if I agree with that.
So no, that guy's channel sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. It's a lot of fun. I watch him a lot. So
that's pretty cool. All right. Well, let's think if I have anything that I want to shout out. I'm always shouting out Comic Collector Geek Alan. He's an awesome guy. Check out his channel. And again, the guy that we talked about at the beginning, I want to say special thanks to What's on the Comic Rack for his comic book shout out video, which was such a great homage to my intro and outro. And Brandon over at Mon Comics for being the first person to do a comic book shout out after I did some. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, check that out on my channel. You can win some cool stuff, some sketches from both Travis and I, and some free comics and slaps.
Yeah, and we're both pretty good artists, and you'll get to. And you over the next few months here, you might get to see some of where that goes. So, yeah,
we'll definitely get to see where that goes, and you're definitely going to show the artwork off and the stuff that we're going to be giving away.
Yep,
so.
Absolutely. And I think the stuff where wasn't one of them that didn't I volunteer to do a sketch of any character?
Yeah, we're both going to do. Actually, it's each month we're both going to do a sketch of the character of a person's choice. So, so it'll be once a month. I've committed you to drawing a picture, a party picture.
All right, but I do have one. I generally don't do bad girl art.
You do bad girl art.
I do.
You're not a girl, so
yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, Brian. I really appreciate it. No, I don't generally do nudes. So
no, we're not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna.
We're gonna keep it in the PG realm for.
Right.
I guess we could
draw Wonder Woman or something like that.
Yeah. But that's still PG in my opinion.
Yeah. We're not gonna have any gratuitous nudity or anything like that.
Right, or sex. I just don't.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so on that note, if you guys have any questions for us, again, put it down in the question or in the comments, and we'd love to hear from you guys on anything that you have to say, and let us know if you enjoyed the content.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Catch you guys on the outside.